Ladies and gents, boys and girls, I am Pete Thorne, and hey, what was at my door when I arrived home just a few days ago from tour? One of these, the ToneX ONE from the nice folks at IK Multimedia. So this is a mini pedal version of the ToneX, and you heard it on all the guitar parts on the track at the beginning of the video. So what is this and what is ToneX? Well, coming right out of their manual here, reading out of their manual, ToneX, a new ecosystem aimed at capturing, playing, and sharing the best sounding amplifiers on Earth. So you've probably seen the ToneX plugin and the full-size ToneX pedal. This is a mini pedal version of ToneX that allows you to load up any of the ToneX presets that you've already got or that you've downloaded off of the, I think it's called ToneNet, their kind of sharing site. You can load any of that stuff into this pedal. Now, I've only had about 48 hours to make this video, so I'm going fast here and I might miss a couple things. I think you can load up to 20 presets in it. So that can be stomp presets, you know, where you're putting like, you know, the sound of a tube screamer or a fuzz like a big muff or something in here, all the way to a full preset featuring an amplifier, cabinet, and microphones all kind of baked into the preset, a full capture. You can use the pedal in a couple different ways. You can have it A/B between two of the presets that you've got loaded up, or you can have it so you can turn on and off one preset and bypass. You can even use it as like a stomp that will replace multiple overdrives on your board. You could A/B between two different overdrive sounds, or a fuzz in an overdrive, or turn on and off a sound that basically is a capture of like a screamer or a clon or something like that. And just think you could have like 20 different overdrives, distortions, and fuzzes all loaded up in here, and you're going to a certain gig and you can just go, well, these are the two I need for this gig, and you pick them and put them on the pedal. So there's a number of different ways you can use this. I can't hit them all in this video. What I decided to do in my video was hook up the pedal via this USB slot right here, which by the way will power the pedal. It's pretty cool. And then load up a few of my own captures that I made for my previous ToneX video for the full-size pedal and for the plug-in, and then make a song out of my captures basically, but running in the ToneX ONE. So that's what you were hearing on the track at the beginning of the video. The clean sound, the dirty rhythm sound that came in, then the lead guitar, all that was coming out of ToneX ONE. It's all my own captures that I loaded up in here and performed the song with. Now I did a couple different things. I used some captures that have a full rig baked in. So basically like amplifier, speaker cabinet, microphones, the whole thing. That was the clean sound and the dirty rhythm parts in the song at the beginning of the video. But I also wanted to try using it as a preamp and run like just an amplifier capture on the ToneX ONE and then come out of it into a power amp and speakers and mic up the speaker cab. So this would become like essentially like your preamp, and then you could plug it into like the effects return of an amplifier, or maybe a little power amp, like a little solid state one, a little class D one, or even into a tube power amp like mine here, the Fryette Power Station. And then out into a cabinet, mic it up. So I'm going to show you those parts and tones soloed outside of the mix and play a little bit more through the pedal here in just a second. What else? Let's see, just before we do that. This can be an audio interface. So if you're using the USB port to go into your computer, you can run your guitar right into here, come USB out into your computer, and this can actually serve as an audio interface for recording with your computer. And you don't even need to power it. It's powered, like bus powered off the USB. I've got it plugged right now into my 9-volt power supply, but yeah, if I've got the USB plugged in, I wouldn't need to. So this is not going to show you every single feature on the pedal. It's just like a little introductory video so I can show you some of the things the pedal is capable of doing. So let's get to it. Here we go. Okay, so I just recorded my first clean guitar part in the track at the beginning of the video. But before I recorded anything, I actually used the tuner to tune my guitar that's included in ToneX ONE. So to turn that on, you just hold down the foot switch as I just did, puts it in tuner mode, and then you play. And you can see here that the green is on in the middle when you're basically in tune. If this light comes on here or this light comes on here, that means you're sharp or flat. It's pretty easy in practice, and the tuner works great. Works really good. So I committed to using the tuner once I tried it just for the whole video. I thought, well, I'll just use this as the tuner as well. Why not? What I wanted to do in this was use my own captures. Now I made some nice captures back in 2023 when I did my original ToneX video, so I thought I would just use those. So in the A/B mode that I'm in right now, where I can go between the two different sounds, in the A slot I loaded up a capture of my Jim Kelly reverb amplifier. It's a really, really nice kind of boutique amp that sounds great clean, sounds great breaking up. I kind of set it edge of breakup or really clean, but if I hit it with a humbucker hard, it'll break up a little bit, but I'm just using the single coils in this, so it's basically clean. And the tone sounds like this. Now you can hear there's some reverb happening, and it's pretty stereo. So I'm using a Y cable to come out of the pedal, and I'm using the ToneX ONE's reverb, and I'm also using a little bit of the included noise gate and compression on the sound as well. Once you load up your captures or whatever sound that you want to use in the pedal, you can then add noise gate, compression, and reverb to the sound. All those features are pretty easily accessible when you get into the secondary functions mode, which all you got to do that is just push this little green button right here. So I'll show you that in just a second. The basic functions on the pedal: volume on the big knob, and then you got bass, middle, and treble, your tone controls on all these pots right here. And that stuff updates and saves automatically when you change any of it. So say you want a little more bass, a little more mid, something like that. When you turn those pots, that's automatically stored in the pedal, those sounds. So it's almost like an amp, kind of. Once again, push this button right here that also serves as the sort of on-off LED for the pedal. You hit that. These will start to blink. That means you're in the secondary functions mode. And now these controls become a threshold for the noise gate, a threshold for the compression, and over here a level for the reverb on the 3 pots. So bass, middle, treble become noise gate, compressor, and reverb. And then the big knob becomes the gain control. So in practice, it's really easy to adjust both volume, gain, bass, middle, treble, and also 3 secondary functions: the noise gate, the compressor, and the reverb. So let's check out the tone as I have it dialed in right now. Really nice American style edge of breakup sound. Obviously I did the capture with a cabinet. It was my old Marshall cabinet in the other room. It sounds big and fat, and it doesn't sound like something this small is producing it. So if I take off the noise gate, the reverb, and the compression, let's see what that sounds like. So you can hear those things are enhancing my capture quite a bit. First of all, let's add in a bit of the compressor again so that it bumps up and kind of pumps up the sound. I always like compression on my clean. So that's all I did. I just turned up that compression threshold. It bumps up the level a little bit at the same time. Sounds like it's got like an auto makeup gain or something like that. And it's kind of up at about the halfway point right now. Okay, let's add a bit of reverb to that. Or I'll turn it all the way up. Just like a nice stereo spring. So I'm using a Y cable right now. So it's like a TRS style tip ring sleeve end here, and then it splits out to a right and a left side. So I'm running into my interface, just inputs 1 and 2 on my UA interface right now, and then I've got a stereo track enabled, and that's why you're hearing the imaging and stuff, and why it sounds stereo if you're listening on headphones or maybe on a nice system. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to back those down a little bit now, both the compression and the reverb, just to get them both about where I had them. Because once again, these things update automatically when you turn them. It's just stored in the preset all the time. It's like continuous updating. Okay, so I just cut some dirty rhythm guitars, and for this I'm using a capture I made back in 2023 of my Germino that is modified to be like a Jose modded plexi, and it sounds awesome loaded up in this little guy. I mean, there's a lot of tone coming out of a small pedal. Got the gate set to gate it off tight. So it's nice and clean. Man, it sounds killer. I'm not using any reverb or anything like that. Just the gate, no compression, no reverb, because on a sound like this, that just wouldn't work. But it sure does sound gnarly. So, I mean, you know, it's a host. So if you're used to using a ToneX and you like your captures or ones that you've collected, you know, from the ToneX site, you know, their exchange site. You can load them up in there. It's going to sound exactly the same. And once again, I've got them in AB mode right now with that clean one I had. So if I switch over here, there's my sound with all the reverb happening for the clean. Back over to the dirty. So you could have two sounds just like that set to AB, you know, a completely different tones, you know, whatever you want. So to play the lead guitar on the track at the beginning of the video, I wanted to try using the ToneX as a preamp going into a power amp and a cabinet. Because of course you can load up captures in ToneX that don't involve cabinets and microphones, and you can use this thing basically as a preamp, run it right into a power amp, a speaker cabinet. Basically I loaded up a capture of my Germino back there that was a direct capture that I made using my Surreactive load box way back in 2023. And it sounds great. It works really good. I've just got the pedal plugged into the line input of my power station from Fryette there, which basically then makes it into a tube power amp. The only thing I'm adding is a little bit of echo in Logic. That's it. I mean, it's just preamp right into the cabinet out of the power amp, and that's what you're hearing. So that bypasses the pedal when I have it in this mode, and there's absolutely no tone. It's just guitar right into the power amp at that point. It sounds pretty great. Pretty darn powerful little pedal. Thanks for watching my video on ToneX ONE from IK Multimedia. This is a real cool thing. It's crazy what they're doing these days. I mean, the ability to kind of take a full-blown amplifier capture and bake it in here, and then you can run this into a power amp. And just think about the possibilities for like small rigs, or you know, maybe you love your tube amp, but you know, you can't bring it overseas to Europe or something. Well, this will definitely fit in your backpack, and you can get a power amp and cabinet, maybe rent it on the other end, and basically get the core of your tone right here in the pedal. And also the ability to, you know, load up something like a nice clean amp capture, but then add a little bit of really nice stereo reverb to that, as well as some compression. You know, there's the gate in there. It kind of takes care of a lot of things. Even as a backup or a practice device, you know, to use on the road with headphones. Yeah, I think you can plug phones right into the output jack. All right, you can check it out further down there at the link in the video description below. Thanks IK Multimedia, and thanks you guys for watching. I am Pete Thorne. Take care. Over and out.